Hi, you guys. I just wanted to read a little bit from Flood Your Body with Ed McCabe. And I'm just going to go with the first page one, the holistic one-page version, why oxygen and ozone work so well. And sorry about this. This isn't really a visual video, so if you have other things to do while you listen, just go ahead because I'm just simply holding the camera and reading. So, you, me, them, it, and all the bodies, animals, and plants have spent eons evolving while surrounded by and swimming in a sea of oxygen, which is itself swimming in a sea of magnetic, gravitic particles of sunlight energy. Oxygen stores the sun's energy so that all life can feed off of it. Even anaerobes, that's life forms that do not use oxygen, require oxygen using life forms to live in or around because oxygen carries the energy of life itself. So, let's see. All bions are all names for life force stored in oxygen. Pneuma, so that's interesting. So pneumonia, pneuma, as is air, is ancient text for soul. Ozone, from the Greek, is a form of oxygen so important that the translations means the breath of God. We all know this oxygen stuff is important. It's just as important right now to animals and plants. If something is important to us is taken away, everything in life goes downhill fast. If it's slowly and effectively taken away by insidious and ever-encroaching soups of greed-caused pollution, we call the ensuing responses plagues, chronic disease, illness, and poor animal and crop yields. This is where we are now, with the pretty but low-yield, nutritionally empty crops, the poor quality animals, and the chronic diseases with their skyrocketing incidences. Boy, I can vouch for that, man. My chickens don't even hatch right now. So I don't know if it's what they're putting in the water or what, but the whole solution is to put back the missing oxygen back into the environment by removal of oxygen-robbing pollution combined with reforestation, and back into the human and animal bodies through supplementation and delivery systems specializing in active forms of oxygen and minerals. Problem solved, right? So it says reforestation. You guys, everyone notices, I'm sure, by the all the trees that have been being cut down by all the 5G companies or, our government. So anyhow, I wanted to, which one did I want to read you all? Let's see. I'm just gonna, so anyhow, this is what I use. I put a drop in water every day, and then you add a drop every day. You add an extra drop of hydrogen peroxide. So, whoa, I just lost my place. Sorry about this. No, I think here we go. Bear with me. I didn't mark my territory. So this talks about hydrogen peroxide. Now let's read about this. This is one thing that kind of bothers me. All this talk about vaccines and stuff. I mean, Gates and all these people who are talking about vaccinating the body, doesn't anyone think that the body has its own way in its own form of an immune system? I mean, what do we think the immune system's for? So it's kind of crazy that they want to shove this vaccination program down our throat, but we know it's not really about vaccinations. It's about depopulation and it's just so disturbing. Anyhow, I'm going to keep reading this. Let's see if I can. Sorry. So hydrogen peroxide's role in the body. So talk about natural. Every cell in your body is trying to manufacture its own hydrogen peroxide on a regular basis. It is part and parcel of your immune system. Wait, what's that say? Yeah, your immune system. It's as much a part of nature as you. If it wasn't supposed to be there, why would every cell in your body be trying to make it at a consistent rate in harmony with the whole body? Scientists are usually trained in the drug viewpoint that they seek to, that they seek to poison the body that's sick in order to make it well. Huh? Let's read that again. Scientists are usually trained in the drug viewpoint where they seek to poison the body that's sick in order to make it well. Yeah, really, these doctors nowadays are just like drug pushers. The people who think like this will tell you that hydrogen peroxide is a waste product of cellular metabolism, that it's just a leftover. However, nature is a model of efficiency and its perfection. Nature would not have every cell. This book is so old, so sorry, it's kind of marked up. Nature would not have every cell in the body producing something if it wasn't needed or wanted, or if it wasn't supposed to be there. Why would your body be wasting your time creating the energy and the enzymes and all other important processes to make a chemical that's waste? It doesn't make any sense. Nature makes efficient use of its resources. Here's an example. So, antibodies that burn water. Recently was shown that antibodies upon exposure to light generate hydrogen peroxide through the conversion of photogenerated singlet oxygen. Wentworth and Associates now show that this process is catalytic and that the electron source for this reaction is most likely water, not oxidizable residues such as tryptophan, metal ions, nor chloride ions. Water would be oxidized by singlet oxygen to create H2O3 as an initial intermediate. Crystallographic studies with xenon, is that xenon? A binding site mimic suggests that singlet oxygen may be bound near conserved TRP and TRY residues. I don't even know what that is, sorry. Peroxide is necessary for our immune systems. Did you know that your body makes hydrogen peroxide to fight infection? It's a fact that hydrogen peroxide must be present for our immune system to function correctly. White blood cells are known as leukocytes. Leukocytes are divided into three classes: granulocytes, lymphocytes, monocytes. Granulocytes are themselves divided into three classes: neutrophils, eosinophils, I don't know how to pronounce that, and basophils. Neutrophils produce hydrogen peroxide as the first line of defense against toxins, parasites, bacteria, viruses, and yeast. Peroxide works well because it's always given up O1, that's just one oxygen, one molecule oxygen, when it's faced with four enzymes, which the body also manufactures. When our peroxide hits those four enzymes through a complex mechanism, it releases the O1 and turns back into water. The hydrogen peroxide produced in the body is a defense mechanism attacking the bacteria, viruses, funguses, and pathogens. It's the shoulder standing on duty. I just got a notice, so it just blocked my view, sorry. It's the soldier standing on duty, ready to defend the body from unwanted invaders. So now here's the problem. If our body is given the task of making hydrogen peroxide out of oxygen and water for survival, and we have less than half of the oxygen than we need and no clean water, aren't we going to make less than half the peroxide we need? There goes the immune system. The peroxide is made within the white blood cells, and these white blood cells engulf bacteria. Bacteria are eaten by lymphocytes, which first surround them. But how do they kill them? How do white blood cells harmlessly eat the disease-causing microbes? Let's see, just a little bit more. Peroxisomes, the body's peroxide factories. There's an area in the white blood cell known as peroxisome. Have you heard the word perox before? The peroxisomes are areas in our cells programmed to make hydrogen peroxide. The white blood cells engulf bacteria, viruses, and other unwanted invaders and squirt hydrogen peroxide on them. They simply burn up or oxidize the offending microorganisms. That's your immune system in action. The very fact that all your cells make peroxide defines this process as your very first line of immune defense. But you have to have enough oxygen around to make it in the first place. So, a little bit more. The peroxisomes make our peroxide continually, but normally healthy cells are left unharmed. This is extremely important for you to grasp, for it's the reason we can put oxygen therapies into the body without hurting the normal cells. When our own H2O2, isn't that hydrogen peroxide, becomes water and gives up the O1, if that O1 comes into contact with a normal cell, it will bounce off and not be attracted to the antioxidant coating around the cell. So I have to move my phone around because when my notices pop up, it blocks my view and I'm reading through the phone. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, pathogens, and ancient microorganisms are the same today as if they just crawled right out of the primordial swamp. Talk about swamps lately. Have we had enough swamps lately? Jeez. They're still the same forms of life they've been for centuries. They do not have any higher functioning. They do not and are not a higher multi-celled organism. They are not specialized. They have no antioxidant coating. So when oxygen from our immune system's natural hydrogen peroxide surrounds any of these guys, they do not have an antioxidant coating. It burns them up because they can't protect themselves. They are ill-equipped enemy soldiers without armor. So, people, if you can, sorry about that. If you can, look for the food grade hydrogen peroxide. Now I have a bottle also of this stuff that is even a higher percentage. Gosh, I think it's 15%. I bought, I think, 2 gallons of it. But try to add hydrogen peroxide in your water, and maybe that will help us kind of combat some of the oxygen robbing situation that we're being thrown at by the 5G. So anyhow, that's just a little tip for the day. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for hanging. Bye, guys.